Welcome back, tribe. Let's get into it. Oh, ignore the camera. It broke. Getting a new one soon enough. Enjoy my pup and some random pictures.
So the guy I've been dating for 8 months just came over and broke up with me. When I met him in March, I came back to life. I got my confidence back. I played. I laughed. The hardest thing for me is that he just committed like 3 weeks ago and told me that he considers me his girlfriend and has told everybody else. And so what did I do? I put him right back on Facebook and paraded him in front of everybody. Like, here's my guy. So as much as I know it's the right thing, like my mind knows it's the right thing, my heart hurts. Let's answer this question. Can I ask, how do you think it got to that point if you don't mind answering? She's referring to the video I made where I talk about my husband of 25 years sitting me down and telling me at a Mexican restaurant that he was only in our marriage for our daughter, essentially saying he didn't love me anymore. I therefore left and started over again with our daughter. So how did it get to that point? You know, it's very interesting that you ask this because I've been making videos about older women dating younger men. And it's funny because I think that age actually did hurt us in our marriage. I was 21 and he was 31 when we got together. I had a 2-month-old baby and he had a couple kids actually from a previous marriage. And I was still living with my parents. It was very much, even though neither one of us had.
Normally, I'd say it was a red flag, but he had kids too. Regardless, getting with a single mom, never a good idea. She had hers at 21, so her decision making is poor. But the way this relationship ended, I can't really fault any of them in terms of like, why'd you leave? Well, the guy said he wasn't in love with her anymore. Okay, that makes perfect sense. So she said, well, let's just end it here then. All right, that's fine. It's not like she left or cheated. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Let's get the full story.
Had anything. Neither of us had any money. We didn't have literally anything. That part was very equal. He was still 10 years older and was very much the boss, controlled the finances, made all the decisions, when we were going to live together, when we were going to get married. He was the decision maker in all of those cases. And I didn't really have enough confidence to make.
Sounds healthy. Sounds like he was doing his job. What does that have to do with you?
My own decisions at that time. What happened, though, was we got together and I started really helping him build a business that he had a license for, but really wasn't doing anything in. So I applied all of my marketing to his business. The business took off. Between my marketing and his sales, we skyrocketed. We made $1 million our first year. We were the number one catering company in all of Las Vegas for decades. It was a really big deal. But what happened was, as that time went on, I started establishing myself. I started building my own confidence, my own identity.
Oh, here we go. Instead of being happy, you built something together. You wanted something for yourself. You want your own quote identity. I know I talk about having your own identity within the partnership, but she's going about it the wrong way, going against the partnership. She's comparing her own superficial idea of what her identity should be versus the relationship, not in addition to. That's the difference. You know, it's kind of like when they say my money's my money, your money's our money. See, when a man's building himself up, he does it for his family. When a woman's building herself up, she does it apart from her family. That's the difference. Let's see how this blew up, because $1 million working together, building your own business, that's great. You know, business and pleasure doesn't usually mix well. Couples that go into business together, it's an extra layer of difficulty and complexity to your relationship. That shit's not easy. And when the relationship fails, if it fails, you now added in another layer of that difficulty, which is you're financially still dependent on one another. And that sucks.
Eventually, we wound up getting into real estate, and I became a teacher, trainer, and started coaching and speaking on real estate and on marketing. And then that turned into me speaking about affiliate marketing and making 6 figures as an affiliate marketer. And then I'm on the stages and I'm writing.
And what's he doing during this entire time? Is he still maintaining that initial catering business you guys started? Is he allowing you, because he's running that side of the business, full stop perhaps, to allow you to get into these different things? Or did he just let his foot off the pedal completely, turn into a slob, didn't do anything to advance himself, was okay where he was at? See, it depends what happens here. If she's advancing and improving herself constantly and he's not, we know what the issue is. Her value has gotten higher than his. I don't think a guy like this that makes a $1 million business with his partner is the type to stagnate. I don't see him having that type of mentality. So this sounds more like a me, I thing. But who knows? Let's see.
Writing books. I'm doing things like that. And as I climbed that social ladder, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I think he struggled. And I'll be really honest with you, he didn't change. He didn't
There it
change at
is.
all. I don't think in the entire 25 years he ever changed. He was the same guy he was when we met. And that was a problem because
Told you guys, you got to always be improving. This case is unique. They actually built a successful business together, but the man let his foot off the gas. I can't really fault her in that sense. Women operate on a base level. You either understand biology and accept it or you don't. Can't get mad at a dog for wagging its tail or barking. Dog's doing what a dog does. A woman's just doing what a woman does. If your woman's advancing while you met her for 25 years in your relationship and her value is skyrocketing past yours, and you are okay being content with the little business you built here and there, and she's still learning, she's still becoming better, she's got more ambition than you, it's a matter of time before your relationship's game over and she thinks she can do better. This is the eternal struggle you're going to deal with as a man. It never ends. And you shouldn't be pursuing this for women or your relationship anyways. This should be hardwired into you as a man, wanting to improve, wanting to learn new things, having that ambition, the hunger to be better. Sure, use your family as motivation. I want to be better for my family. I want to be better for my significant other. I want to be better for my parents, for my friends. I want to be the pillar which everybody can lean on in times of need. That should be natural to you. This guy, and this is her story, by the way. We're just taking her story at face value. We've seen a bunch of videos where a woman gives her side of the story. It's completely different, but we're just using this at face value as an example of what could potentially happen in a man, in a relationship when he gets soft and he stops being himself and stops chasing something bigger than the initial dream he had, or his status in the relationship falters because he's okay. He's content. He feels secure. It's not what you do as a man.
because when you marry a 21-year-old girl that has not grown into the woman she's going to be yet, you're kind of asking for trouble unless you're going to grow with her. And
True.
If one person grows and the other one stays in the same spot, then one is probably going to go a different direction. And I'm not saying I was better than, I'm not saying anything to do with that. I'm saying we grew in different directions. I grew up in that marriage. I grew up, and then I didn't want to ask for allowance. I didn't want to ask for money. I didn't want him to make all the decisions anymore. I started standing up for myself and saying, this is what I want our life to look like. I didn't feel safe in a lot of the decisions he made. And it can.
And that's key right there. I didn't feel safe in the decisions he made. It's competence. She's talking about security and competence. He faltered in some part of their marriage somewhere early on, and the decisions he made held them back, or he made the wrong move, and that threatened her security and therefore the competence in her eyes. This is real, man. This woman is not really down talking him in any way, just sharing her experience of why she left. I totally understand. It seems like a real legit story, and what she's saying is like, Red Pill 101 about what a man should be doing, how early they met on, the life she wanted them to build, the legacy. He was helping with the business. They were successful. They were pushing forward, and he somewhere faltered multiple times, apparently. And it shouldn't come as a surprise that eventually she left him.
Concerned me. And so I wanted to be more involved with the finances. I wanted to be more involved with our investments. And there was so much.
And when you're hearing this, sorry to keep interrupting, but when you're hearing this, just understand that this is progressing over years. And so he's making the wrong decisions. He's becoming less and less competent in her eyes. She then feels like for her own security and for the security of the relationship, she needs to assume a more masculine role. She has to take control of the finances, start making the decisions. As this is happening, he's becoming less and less attractive in her eyes. As that happens, they're having less and less sex. They're less and less intimate. He's probably falling out of love with her because she's not giving it up anymore, because she has to make all the decisions and wear the pants in the house, because he's not willing to reach up to their full potential in her eyes. And poof, years later, you have the sit down at the Mexican restaurant and he says, I've fallen out of love with you. Yeah, they probably had a dead bedroom for years. And if you're red pill aware, you know where all this is stemming from. And unfortunately, it's the stupid trope that we hate repeating, but it's always a man's fault. Once you swallow that bitter pill, you can begin to play the game as long as you know all the rules.
Push and pull then, because for so long he was just the boss. And, a man's ego doesn't do so well when the woman becomes too strong. And I did become too alpha. I did become too bossy and domineering. I think I just a fear for losing everything, which I won't go into those details, but we had some issues in there. I didn't trust the situation. I'm like, I need to take over. I need to protect us and keep us safe. And what is that?
You see, When a woman feels like she needs to take over and protect us and keep us safe, what does that mean in terms of a man's failure to lead? Just pay attention, man. They're really honest a lot with this stuff.
I do that makes me less feminine. It makes me less attractive.
See?
And I'm not saying it was his fault. I'm not saying it was my fault. I'm just saying when you start off with that much of an age gap, somebody's going to probably grow in a different direction than the other one. So that's just my honest answer. I'm 52 years old today. This is 52.
And it ain't good. Sorry, here's the part where you lose. This ain't good. The rest of your story from the get-go, I understand. But here's the brutal reality. If you're going to go back into dating, you are not a catch. You are 52 years old, and why not get a 25-year-old, 32-year-old? I don't know much about your man. Doesn't sound like he was keeping his end of the deal at some point in regards to being a competent leader. But if the dude gets back into shape, if he fell out of shape, if he took care of himself at all physically, then he's not going to have a problem to get, I'm assuming what you said, 52. So her man is 63. Yeah, he could easily get a 35-year-old and done, and he'll be happy. Not sure how far ahead you guys have gotten in life. He may be a multimillionaire off of all these businesses you guys built. Don't know what the split looks like, but if he's 62 years old, multimillionaire, and in decent shape for his age, landing a 30 to 40-year-old woman that looks good for her age is not going to be difficult for this guy at all. Those numbers get even lower if you start to go overseas. Don't know what this guy's spending power again, but he goes into Southeast Asia, somewhere Eastern Europe, something like that. He can knock on the door of 24, 26, easy, and slim, beautiful, petite, feminine women. This is a brutal reality of the game that we're playing, is that there's a clock on all this. And if you don't show your hand and go all in when you hold the most power and the best cards, unfortunately, you're going to be in a compromised position later on, and winning the game becomes exponentially more difficult. You could only bluff for so long.
I turned off the filters. I'm outside. I am on my patio in the sun, but there are no filters. This is 52. All of it, imperfections.
It's not bad compared to other 52s we've seen on here crying about their lives and how they're lonely and shit. But again, man, far cry from what the women I just described would look like.
A little bit more of the lines, the wrinkles. Skin is not perfect. A little more wrinkles around the neck, right? This is 52. I am not upset about being 52. And I think that I'm in many ways younger, feeling, looking energy than I was 10 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago in some ways. And yes, I come on here on TikTok and talk about dating, and I put on filters. You know, those filters that give you like a little bit of an eyelash, or they soften these imperfections in our face. They give us a little bit of that glow, maybe hide some of the lines and wrinkles. I don't know. We all kind of do it just to soften things up. Today, I thought, you know what? It is my birthday. I'm 52 years old. I'm just going to come on here, darn it, and be here in reality. This is what it is. And 52 in the dating scene is hard.
Brutal.
It is hard. We're constantly taking a look around and looking at the younger girls. But I'll tell you, the truth is, when I was in my 20s and dating, I was as insecure as I am in my 50s and dating. And in our 50s, we come to the table with a lot more experience, a lot more to offer.
See, here's where she gets it wrong. The experience and the shit you're talking about offering, a man does not care about whatsoever. He cares about beauty and youth. That's it. When you were in your 20s and you felt just as insecure, you had youth and beauty. You were 20, you were 21, 22, whatever you were in your prime. If a man is expected to be the leader, the boss, the provider, the protector of the relationship, why would any of your experience, your money, and the wisdom you gained over your life towards 52 even matter to him whatsoever? You are maybe decent for a dude that's like 75, 80. But again, it's not the men you want, but the men you want don't want you.
Offer somebody else. Yes, there's often more baggage that comes with that too.
There you go.
You know, even though I'm in a very...
And I forgot, no kids. The 20-something-year-old or the younger woman most likely doesn't have kids.
Very free place in my life. My kids are grown. I don't need anybody else financially. I've got a nice, beautiful house that I built, not my ex-husband. I built it after the divorce. And but I still feel like I have baggage too, because emotional triggers and
Mm.
whatnot that we have when we're in a new relationship. So nobody is free from that type of thing. But being 52 out there in the dating scene is, it's scary, it's messy, it's complicated, all of those things. But I don't really think it's probably that much different than what the younger people are going through. It's hard for anybody being out there. But anyway, I just thought I'd pop on here. It's my birthday, 52 years old, single, out there dating, having a good time, sharing with you guys all the stories, and let's just see where it goes from here. At 47 years old, after 25 years married, I found myself divorced. You guys, I thought it was over. I remember sitting on my floor just crying, saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm too old to do this again. I'm too old now to fall in love and find the love of my life, because how much time are we going to have left, right? Now, some of you are going to say 47 is so young, but to me, it felt like life was over. And to be honest with you, even into my 50s, I bought my own house. My kids went off to college when I was 50. And then one day I happened to be looking across the bar and saw a guy, and I asked my friends, who is that? And they said, we don't know, but we'll find out. Little did I know they were actually approaching him. I didn't realize that was happening until it was already happening. Right now, I can tell you that for the first time in my life, since my divorce, I feel alive again. And it has really made me realize that I'm 52 now and I feel great. I'm out having fun. I'm dancing. I'm dating. I'm singing. I'm playing. I'm traveling. I'm doing all those things, and I have freedom to do it. So if you think your life is over at 50, take it from me. It's not over.
Now, let's see how long it took Chad to finally get rid of her.
I've been honest about the dating journey up until now, so why change? So the guy I've been dating for 8 months just came over and broke up with me.
Ouch.
Honestly, I'm gonna say that I knew it was coming. I mean, we've had some ons and offs and aren't really compatible in the long run. But that doesn't mean it hurts any less.
So
After
alive.
8 months, that's a long time. The hardest thing for me is that he just
Crazy.
committed like 3 weeks ago and told me that he considers me his girlfriend and has told everybody else. And so what did I do? I put him right back on Facebook and paraded him in front of everybody. Like, here's my guy.
So alive. Living
So
dream.
as much as I know it's the right thing,
Damn. Living it up.
like my mind knows it's the right thing, my
So
heart
happy.
hurts.
Life.
And those of you that are in the dating scene, you know how this feels.
Amazing.
To think about, well, but here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say. I had the time of my life this year. And when I met him in March, I came back to life.
Live, laugh,
I
love,
got
baby.
my confidence back. I played,
So
I
confident.
laughed. I camped, I ate sushi. I did things I've never done before.
Confident.
I ran barefoot through the sprinklers and into the cold waters camping and peed behind a tree. All the things I swore I'd never do.
Living.
I don't have any regrets at all.
Happy.
And now I feel like it's time for me to go play. I want to be single. I want to go play. I want to have fun.
No regrets.
I
No regret.
probably want to date multiple
Jesus
people
Christ.
and find out who I really want after all that time. You know, I was married 25 years.
No.
Since I was 21 years old, I was married. I don't know really what I want in life, you know, as a partner. Maybe I don't even want a partner. Maybe I want to just go have fun, flirt around, date a little, you know, just have a good time. I don't
Lord
have
save her.
to. We're not required to settle down. And if something happens and
he's hurting,
the right frame of mind comes along,
damn it.
Great. You know, this guy had kids, entanglements with an ex-wife, didn't want to make it public on Facebook.
Entangles.
I have had issues with that from day one.
Entanglements.
Time to release it, let it go.
Damage.
Let him go.
Confident.
Let him move on. You know, it stings. And I know I'm going to miss him.
Tingle tangles.
But that's what it's all about, right?
Jesus. Entangling her ass at 52, eh? Anybody that shares this much about themselves on social media is a huge red flag. It's just so creepy. I'll never understand why it's become so acceptable to discuss your personal life with millions of random strangers on the internet. Amen. She was 21 and a single mother. He rescued her from her parents' house. She had nothing going for herself. Didn't end well. Stay away from single mothers. I married my wife when she was 23 and I was 31. We were both poor, but supported each other, and we both went to the top of our professions and became multimillionaires. I love her all the more because she loved me when I had nothing, and she has always been a faithful and fun helpmate to me. And I never cheat on her because of that. And we'll end it with this one. My father once said to me, over 30 people are single for a reason. He was 100% right. A friend of mine once said, except for sex, I prefer the company of men. He was 100% right. I know angry femmes really hate the men going that one way, but more and more, I get it. Starting a conversation with a woman these days is quite literally like walking through a minefield. God knows what will set them off. My wife has a few friends who are 50 plus and single. I met a couple of them. Not bad looking. Keep themselves nice, but then they open their mouths and the ugly pours out. Sheesh. Hope you enjoy my dog. See you guys on the next one.